You'll, just in case you're not sure of what I'm referring to, all the contact points and reference points are up on the screen as well. So once we've done the talar glide and the posterior talar mobilization, then what's going to happen is, now that we've determined we've got connective tissue restrictions here, we now need to generate significant forces to release those posterior tissues. This technique works really well in generating more force. The disadvantage to this technique is our contact points are not particularly sensitive as far as palpation sensitivity goes. So we have to do our assessment, so okay, we need to really work this talus posteriorly, now we're going to generate more force. So the contact point is your metacarpal joint, where your where your index finger is attached to your hand. It's your metacarpal joint. What is it?
Metacarpal joint.
Great, the first metacarpal joint. It is going to sit on the anterior, slightly medial contact point of the talus. So metacarpal joint on the anteromedial aspect of the talus. The rest of your hand and fingers are just going to fall where they go. I'm going to recommend that you make sure the lateral part of your hand is actually airborne, meaning there's space underneath it, because the tendency is to let your hand rest on the tibia. And what that does, it means you spread the force on the tibia rather than concentrating on the talus. So get that metacarpal joint in position, wrap your fingers around, keep the space on the lateral side. That's your proximal hand. Your distal hand, you are going to use your pisiform. So this bone here, just feel on your hand, that bone sticking out the base of your hand. It's called your pisiform. What's it called?
Pisiform.
In French, it's pisiform. So you can speak two languages now. So your pisiform, or it's also in German pisiform, is going to contact the top of your metacarpal joint. That's where the drive is going to come. So we've got contact here, the drive is going to come from your distal hand. Now, talus tends to shift anteromedial. That means we're going to work the talus in what direction? Posterolateral. Good. Okay. Now, the common error that practitioners do is they put their hands like this. If the line of drive is coming from my distal arm, what direction, through my forearm and into my pisiform, what direction is that currently going in?
Medially.
Yeah, medial. So, in order to get it going posterolateral, the simple thing is to wrap your fingers and thumb around your wrist. To do that, look what it does to your forearm. It forces it to go, which direction? Lateral. That's the way. So once you get into that position, it's like you cannot not be working in a lateral direction. You'll be standing lateral, so on the end of the table here. So you're not at the end and you're not directly on the lateral side. So get into that position. Make sure the hand is, the metacarpal joint's your only contact point, and then all you do is you just lean on it. I'm just using gravity, I'm not pushing, and you can feel that's a substantial force. Once I'm in position, I've taken up the tissue joint to its end passive range. I'm going to do the same rotations that we did with technique number 2. So I'm going to go posterolateral. If you look at my hands, you can't see them moving, but you look at my shoulders, and you'll see the circle action happening here. How many rotations am I going to do? 6. And how long is it going to last for?
8 seconds.
Yeah, good. You're listening, you're paying attention. Beautiful. When I release my hands, you'll see there's a blanched area right on the medial aspect of the talus. That'll tell you that your contact point was spot on. So this way, I'm not pushing, I'm just using gravity and my upper body as an extra tool. And that way I know I can generate a significant force on a substantial foot and ankle here. So, meet some new feet. Hopefully they're big and burly, and you're not, and put that to the test. You'll do this technique, and then you'll go back to talar glide, just do 1 or 2 repetitions, posterior pulsing with 1 or 2 repetitions, and then move to body weight with 1 or 2 repetitions. Now what you want to do is practice the transition from one technique to the next. And it should be an elegant flow in between.